This time yesterday, we talked about how the Saudis said they were willing and able to put 550,000 new barrels onto the market. But yet oil prices continue to go up. The market doesn't believe it or doesn't care. How come?
Well, because they're kind of doing the hokey pokey with the market.
As a Virginia Tech graduate, I endorse that.
Sort of 1 foot in, 1 foot out, I mean, they're playing their typical games in that they don't want to tip the market over and have a big sell-off because of them putting additional barrels on the market. But at the same time, they also don't want to risk the wrath of President Trump, and they also don't want to risk the demand picture, the demand side of the equation, because they know when prices go too high, a couple of things happen to them. Demand does fall off. It hurts particularly the emerging markets, which is the growth story for them. But also it brings on other production that becomes sticky and nettlesome for them.
But I can guarantee you, I know you know this, I know this, there are certain producers who are very happy with $72 U.S. traded crude.
Oh, no doubt.
And by the way, many of them are not in OPEC. They're based in Texas. It's a good price for the markets. Is it a good price for us?
It's starting to get to a point where it'll start to hurt us. Where the pump price you're showing, you get over $3.50, it starts to hit consumer confidence as a starting point. And then when it goes towards $4 and over that, you're starting to pay $100 to fill up your SUV. People start to chafe at that, and it does start to hurt the economy and the growth.
You know, that's the risk. We've talked so much about tariffs, but when you really dig into the macro numbers, they're not big. Oil prices are something we buy almost every day. We use 50 gallons of gasoline each month on average, 100 for a family of 2 drivers. You go up a buck, it's $100 a month, $1,200 a year. You start to get into real money.
It certainly does, and it cuts into discretionary spending in particular. It starts to shave a quarter to half a point of GDP, which is not a small number, even in this 3-4% growth environment that we're in. Because then again, it undercuts what we're doing right now. I will tell you though, in terms of going forward here, as to what the Saudi policy is going to be, you scored one of the biggest information nuggets that we were all been in search of, and that is what is Saudi productive capacity? And the Aramco CEO told you
12 million barrels a day. By the way, they're a little over 10.5 now. So if that puts it in perspective, folks, they could go to 12. Although there are people that doubt that that's a number that they could, because that's everything running full steam, like the hamster running around the wheel. Like at some point it gets tired.
And they've never produced more than 10.7. So this has been new territory for them. So that is the big question.
But he said they could do it. It would take about 3 months for them to get there. The question is, can they do it? Will they do it? Does the OPEC deal that they made, which is kind of difficult to understand, does that prevent them from doing it? Because the OPEC deal is you're supposed to go up in proportion to other OPEC members that can go up. The problem is most other OPEC members can't increase production. They simply don't. They don't have the capacity.
They cannot. Again, to the extent, here's the problem for the Saudis too, and OPEC in general. When the price starts to get away from them, they can't. It takes a while for them to try to get it reined back in, either to the upside or the downside.